Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert got even more bad news this week. I mean, pretty much every week since she has switched from the 3rd Colorado district to the 4th, she's gotten bad news, and there's more to pile on this week. According to a new survey of voters in Colorado's 4th congressional district, nearly half of them say that they will not ever vote for an individual who just moved to that district. So you got half the voters in this new survey saying, I'm not going to vote for a person that just moved here. Now, of course, the survey did not ask specifically, Lauren Boebert just moved here. Would you vote for her because she just moved here? No, they didn't mention Boebert at all. They just said, hey, if somebody from somewhere else were to move here and run for office, would you vote for him? And half the voters in the district say, God, no. Why would I do that? To make things even worse for Lauren Boebert, one of her Republican primary opponents just got endorsed in the last week by 3 different, very popular former and current Republican state senators. So her opponents are racking up the endorsements, and she's left with nothing. She doesn't have the voters. They don't like her. They do see her as a carpetbagger. Over half of them say that they question her judgment and her morals as a person. You add all of this up together, and it sure as hell looks like Lauren Boebert is headed for a swift defeat when that June 25th primary rolls around. I think in the past, by the way, I had said that it was in March. I had misread that. The March is the filing deadline for people to get into the race. So March is the filing deadline. The actual primary is taking place on June 25th. So she's got a few months to turn it around. But the question is, does she actually have to turn it around? Because this survey also offered up another piece of information. And according to this survey, that, again, half the people said, no, we're not going to vote for somebody who just moved here. Lauren Boebert is winning. She's winning in this survey. This is the only one where she has been winning, but she is currently ahead. She is double digits ahead of her closest challenger, who only has 9% of the vote. So this survey shows that people don't like her. We don't like her morals. We don't trust her judgment. We don't like that she's a carpetbagger. A majority of voters say those things, and then at the same time, like, I'm going to vote for her. This is why analyzing these polls and this data for these Republican voters can become so infuriating, right? Because they openly say, we don't like her. We don't want her. And then in the same breath, they tell these pollsters and the survey people that, yeah, I'm going to vote for her. The Republican base keeps electing the dumbest people possible because they don't even know what they want. Okay, they know they don't want a certain thing, but at the end of the day, they're like, but I kind of do want that thing that I don't want. You know, it's like you're on a diet and you're like, man, I really want that piece of cake, but I know I can't have the cake. But screw it, I'm going to do the cake anyway, right? There's always tomorrow. We'll get it right next time. And that's what these voters are doing. So yes, this poll has some very bad news for Lauren Boebert. It also has the best news possible for her, which for me is very disappointing because so far every piece of information we have seen coming out of that 4th Colorado district has spelled certain doom for Lauren Boebert. And now suddenly she's atop the polls, even though the voters in the district say we're not going to vote for her. So I don't know how to square those two pieces of information, but that's the data we have. And this race is definitely still competitive, which means we could have at least another 2 years of having to talk about Lauren Boebert.